All right, we're back and we are ready to get a sample game started here. So if you're wondering how all of these pieces and boards and cards got on the table, you probably want to watch the setup video. That's the first video of this series. And all right, we're going to jump right in. So remember we said there's always got to be one victory card. So in this case, this victory card says you've got to have pieces in 3 corner squares. So it starts the same order as it did when we set up. So blue is our first player to go. Now blue is going to have to make the decision to do one of 4 things. The blue player can either put pieces out, and if you put a piece out, you can choose one of your special pieces, like a knight, a battle mage, a raider, or you can put out 2 pawns. So you can put out 2 pawns or 1 of anything else. So that's if I was going to play out pieces as the blue player. Second option, I can choose to move pieces on my turn. And if I move pieces, the amount that each one can move is different. So in this case, the ones that I have out, my queen can move 3 squares. You can also move diagonally. The only thing you can't do when you move is you can't move through a square that's filled with a piece. So my king's got 1 move, my pawn's got 1 move. So those, if I wanted to, I could move all 3 of those pieces during the blue's turn. So far we can play pieces, we can move pieces. I can draw a card, which essentially means trying to change the rules or change the victory card goal or upset the other player in some way. The 4th option I have is to attack, and we'll get to that in a whole separate video on how to do those attacks. So for the time being, we're going to look at this goal, which it says have 3 pieces in a corner square. Now the corner squares in this board are going to be over here, up here, across over here, and then blue has 2 down in this end. So these squares are not corners because the boards are considered to be all attached there. So blue is going to do a little math here and say it's going to take me, if I move 3 at a time, my queen can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. It's going to take me 4 turns to get to that corner. So, and the orange, when it comes to be orange's turn, is going to get there 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 in only 2 turns. So blue, in this case, is probably going to draw a card to try and get that green card to be something else. Because for our rule pile, our pink, and our green victory card, it's always only ever the top one that is affecting the game. So blue's going to go ahead and draw a card. And so now we've got a pink card, a pink rule card, that says pawns have got 2 move. So that's going to go right on our rule pile here. And that means that anything that's a pawn can move 2 squares now instead of its normal 1. So that's what these rule cards are going to do, is they're going to kind of change how the pieces interact and how they move and how they fight. So this is actually really good news for orange, because once blue has drawn that card, it's now orange's turn. And on orange's turn, now that the orange pawn can move 2, he's going to move during his turn and try to get this 3 corner squares. So he's going to move his queen 3. And his pawn can move 2, so you can move diagonally over to this corner. And then he'll, next turn, if he can get to that, we'll be moving the queen to that corner and the king to this corner, and then he'll get this victory card. So blue is going back to blue's turn. So on orange's turn, he moved 2 pieces. You can move up to 3. You don't have to move all 3, and your pieces don't have to move their full amount. So if he wanted to, next turn, his queen could move just 2 out of 3 if he wanted it to. So orange moved 2 of 3 pieces, and now it's blue's turn again. Blue is again going to try and upset that victory card pile and make it so that orange can't get that green card. Hey, blue is in luck. So this is another victory card, and this one says capture 3 pieces while this is the top card. So it covers up that previous one. If somebody collects this top green card, that one below it will become active again. So orange may want to leave pieces in corners in hopes that eventually there will be that green card will come back. But right now we have a fighting victory card because it says capture. You're going to be wanting to attack each other to get those pieces gone. We'll explain that in a separate video when it comes to battle time. But player orange and player blue now are going to either try to build up some armies, or they're going to try and draw cards to cover up that green card again. But it doesn't really help anybody to continually just trying to get rid of green cards, because eventually you want to try and get them so that you can win. Because in order to win, there's 2 ways. You can get 3 of those green cards, 3 of those victory cards, or you can eliminate the other pieces from the board. Now, if you're playing more than 2 players, if your pieces are eliminated, you're not necessarily out of the game. And again, that'll come later. So, orange has moved. It's blue's turn. Blue drew that card, so it goes back to being orange's turn. Now, on orange's turn, now that they're trying to capture 3 pieces, orange is going to play out one of these knights. And so, of your pieces, your king and your queen are kind of special. Your pawns are kind of your cannon fodder, or your pieces that don't have a lot of capabilities. And then you have 3 special pieces. You have the knight, which can not move very far, but it has a good attack, a good fight. And so orange is going to put out a fight piece there. Your other special pieces are your battle mage, which is balanced. It's got 2 move and 2 fight. And then you've got your raiders, which have 3 move and 1 fight. So you have 1 piece that's good at fighting, not good at moving, 1 piece that's good at moving and not at fighting, and 1 piece that's balanced in between the 2. Alright, so orange has put out his knight piece, and blue is going to follow suit. Put out a knight. Orange is going to put out the other knight. You get 2. Blue is going to do the same. They're both trying to win this green card here. Now, orange has got his 2 pieces ready and out. He's going to start moving them towards blue. So he's going to move. He can move 3 pieces. He's going to move his 2 knights and his queen. Blue is going to keep putting out pieces and trying to be even more ready for the fight here, so he's going to put out a battle mage. Orange is going to keep coming and move his pieces even more towards blue. Blue is going to move his knights forward and make a little room, and then probably move this battle mage to the front as well. Alright, so we've got our movement and our impending battle here as they're taking turns moving towards each other. So now probably orange will stop and stay there. And now if blue wants to get us ready for our next video here, he might move his pieces next to the yellow pieces. Orange pieces there, sorry. Now here's a distinction from a lot of other games. You don't move and attack in the same turn. So if you're moving, that's it. After you're done moving, it's the end of your turn. The next player will get to go. So that also means, though, that you can have pieces next to each other or adjacent to each other and have an sort of an uneasy truce and never have an attack happen. That's also a possibility. So if you want to wheel and deal with the other players, or beg for mercy, as the case may be, you can try and talk them out of attacking you on their turn. Alright, so now we've got our pieces lined up, and we're ready for our attack video. So if one of the players had gotten, in this case, 3 corner squares covered, They would collect this green card. It would sit in front of them, and once they had 3, they would win. But in this case, it got covered up with another one. That was a fighting card. Now, if either of these players didn't want to do the capturing route, they could have been drawing cards to try and cover that green card up again. Alright, so we are ready. We're getting ready for a battle here, and we'll see you in the third video.